We hear lots of talks about climate change, but it could be overwhelming with the amount of information that comes our way.
That's right, but our trusted climate change advisors want to change that and make getting the 411 a little easier. Let's check it out. Bereatha Howard, welcome to Inside South Florida.
Hi, how are you? Thank you.
I'm doing so good. So happy to have you and the CLEO Institute, as always, come back in studio and share with us. Now, we're talking all things hurricanes today and how we can be best prepared. So I want to ask you, are hurricanes a bigger threat now in South Florida than ever before?
Well, definitely, because we're having hurricanes a lot more frequently than we used to. And not only more frequently, but we're having more intense hurricanes. And sometimes people get used to not having a hurricane and then they're not worried about it, not thinking about it. But now you have to really be prepared in advance. People are finding out that when they go to the grocery store to get things at the last minute, nothing is there. The supplies they need, the baby food, things like that. It's so important to make sure you have in advance. So yes, it is making a big difference.
And are any areas or communities more susceptible for hurricanes or maybe damage in hurricanes?
Definitely. A lot of underserved communities, sometimes they live paycheck to paycheck and they're not able to get things in advance. So what I encourage them to do is to go and get supplies bit by bit in advance. You know, some items like bandages and alcohol, things like that, you can get at the dollar store, $1.25 store now. And a lot of things you could do in advance. Baby food, definitely, get that in advance. People with special diets, like my mom, high blood pressure, she can't eat salty food, so I have to make sure I get her special food in advance. So anything like that and medication, but a lot of times if you wait until the last minute, you may not have that resource available.
And so being prepared is so important in this. And you've mentioned a couple different products and items that we should have ready for if a hurricane happens to come our way. And we have some products here in studio today as well.
Yes.
that you would place in your hurricane kit. So
yes.
How do we build a hurricane kit? What would come in that?
Well, you would think about what's most important. If you have kids, I know that lights is a very big issue, because if the lights go out, which they usually do, and they're in a dark house, it seems to usually happen at night for some reason, and they're in a dark house, then they're scared. So I found out that making sure that you have lights, and there's different types of lights. There's this light right here where you can put in a room and it lights up the whole room, but you can also make sure that you have the solar lantern right there, and that's very easy to keep up because you just put it in the window and the sun recharges it, so that way you always have light. And once you give that empowerment to kids, they feel a lot less stress and anxiety.
Most definitely. So many great products that we can put in our own kits to have and be ready for a hurricane should it come. Anything else we should know in order to prepare for a hurricane and in hurricane season?
Yes, definitely you want to make sure you have your medication. A lot of people don't know that you can get it, 30 days supply in advance, because sometimes the stores or the pharmacy may not be open, and if you're already low on medication, that's not a good time to go without it. So I tell people when there's a hurricane, they allow you to get your medication 30 days, at least 30 days supply.
Beautiful. So much great information from you today, Bereatha. We always love having you and the CLEO Institute in studio to help us out with all the best information, especially with South Florida being so much involved in hurricane season. So thanks so much for not only coming in, but being our trusted climate change advisor. You, the CLEO Institute, so grateful for you guys. Where can we go for more information?
The CLEO, you could go to cleoinstitute.org, get involved.
Perfect. Bereatha, thanks so much for hopping on the show.
Thank you.